Hi, I'm Maggie Olson from Wellness Adventuring LLC, and this is Love from Maggie. In this week's video, we're going to be talking about being needy. Um, and what I mean by being needy is acknowledging that you have needs, figuring out what those needs are, and how to tell if they're not being met, and then finally, how to go about meeting them and figuring out whose responsibility it actually is for meeting your needs. Figuring out kind of what your needs are. We all have certain needs in common. We all need food and water. We would die very quickly without those. We need shelter. We need connection and companionship with other people, other kind of sentient beings in the world. And then we also have a whole bunch of needs that are really determined by our values and our individual personalities. So, to use myself as an example, I am someone who really thrives when I'm free, when I'm taking on new challenges and trying new things. But in order for me to do that, I need a certain amount of stability and routine in my life. I need to know that I have these things that I can count on and that I'm doing them consistently. So, figuring out what your individual needs are often involves getting uncomfortable. What does it feel like when your needs aren't being met? There's a sense of discomfort in that, and it can be something as basic as just something in my life doesn't feel right. I have this kind of vague sense of unease, and I'm not really sure where it's coming from, but I know that I feel it. To If it's one of your major needs, let's say, that's not being met, then that can feel awful. Honestly, you might feel like you're trapped or stuck or desperate in some way. And so if you find yourself on this kind of spectrum of discomfort, then it's time to sit down with yourself and ask yourself with genuine curiosity, what am I missing? Um, what piece of myself am I not honoring right now? And sometimes the answer will come right away, and sometimes you're going to have to work at it a little bit and study a little bit and kind of go back to looking at what your values are. And then finally, once you have figured out what need it is that's not currently being met, how do you go about meeting it? So what I find is that a lot of people in long-term relationships tend to look to their partner first when their needs aren't being met. I think it's just human nature that when something inside of me feels uncomfortable, I want to just get it out as quickly as possible. I want to not have to feel that discomfort. I want to not have to face that challenge and grow. So, who out there can I look to instead? What that's outside of me can I blame for this? Totally, totally human reaction, I think. But it's really important to kind of step back from that instinct and really figure out how you can meet that need for yourself. What can you change about your life? What can you incorporate into your daily life to ensure that this is being met? And that's important for any number of reasons. But the main thing is that going through life, you need to be able to rely on yourself. You need to be your own safety net. Your friends, your family, your partner, they can absolutely help you. Absolutely. Just like you would want to help them. But they also have their own lives, they have their own needs and their own responsibilities. So make sure that you're doing the work for yourself. It's really, really worth it. And you're just setting yourself up for a stronger and more trusting relationship with yourself, for a happier life going forward. So really taking the time to sit with your discomfort, to figure out what your needs are, and to figure out how you can meet them yourself before going to other people is another way of building trust in yourself. It's building security, it's building strength, and it's another way that we grow. And you're not going to be perfect at it. And you're going to try different things to get that need met. And sometimes you'll hit it right the first time and you'll feel good really fast. And sometimes your first attempt isn't going to work. And so it's important to go back and go, okay, that didn't work. What can I try next? And really stick with that and be open to getting it wrong and trying new things until you find what works for you. Be open to the fact that what works for you today might not work for you a year from now, and that that's also okay. So all of this, all of life is a learning process. And the more you can open yourself up to it, the more that you can learn to enjoy it, the more that you're really, really building this great foundation within yourself of strength and stability, and the farther you'll be able to go in life, because you'll always be able to come back to that. So thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm Maggie Olson from Mama's Adventuring LLC, and this has been Love from Maggie.